ROI schedule, what exactly he's expecting and what should
There are three basic documents, and this is common for everyone. First is the pitch deck. After the pitch deck,
don't know how to do the valuation and do one more other thing, that which is a better location according to you for a startup.
so this is a very good question. In fact, this will help everybody.
How do I evaluate my company? What do you consider as a team? A founder?
So we have the application ready, we have the concept ready, we have everything in place, but we do not know anything about the valuation for this particular Startless application.
It's available to get contact you.
Yeah.
I welcome you all in the Ask Me Anything session by our founder and CEO, Mr. Shishir Gupta. The session is held every Tuesday and is also called Startup Tuesday. In this meeting, your ideas will be generated, validated by asking questions in the meeting. So, Shishir sir, over to you.
Thank you. Namaskar. Welcome to my session, and you can ask me anything. In fact, that's the name, and definitely it's a one by one. You can raise hand, and obviously Sanjana will notice, and then you can ask your questions. And without wasting time, let's start.
Okay. Someone from Generated Software Code Instantly, Replicatia.com has raised hand. Sir, please come up and ask your question.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me opportunity to ask. Yeah, this is Ganapati Ram. I have a startup called Replicatia Private Limited. So my product is about generating software code instantly. Okay. So I have someone, one investor is showing interest to fund. I'm actually looking for funding, and he said he's interested to invest in my company. And so he is asking about financial analysis for next 2 years with ROI schedule. What exactly he's expecting? I have prepared something with one salesperson. So he has helped me in creating business plan for 5 years. But yeah, for ROI schedule, what exactly he's expecting and what should be there? If you can. Yeah. Please.
Okay, I'll tell you there are three basic documents, and this is common for everyone, right? First is the pitch deck. This is a 12 to 15 slide document that you use to give it to the investor. It is called deck because it is like one slide over the other, right? And this is a very basic document worked on reduction process, right? So it's you have to reduce the size of everything, and data has to be minimal in that. Another thing is after the pitch deck, then you have one financial projection. Now, projection is an important document that will show how much funding you need. That means your monthly expenditures and revenue, and whatever amount is short in terms of your revenue from the expenditure is called your burn rate, the negative cash. And on the basis of that burn rate, you calculate the amount of funding required for that particular month. So suppose I'll simplify with an example. Suppose you are earning 5 lakh rupees a month and you are spending 8 lakh rupees a month on marketing, right? In August 2021.
Okay.
So 3 lakh rupees is short. This negative cash is called your burn rate for the month. Okay. Now this, and revenue is called run rate. So your burn rate for this month will be 3 lakh, and on that burn rate basis, you have to ask for the 3 lakh funding for this month. So if you calculate for 18 months funding, and let us take assume that your burn rate will be same. So 3 multiplied by 18, whatever amount you get, this is the amount of funding that you will be requiring, right? So that is what an investor should ask for. Third important document is your valuation. Until and unless you understand what is the value of your company, you will not be able to raise funds. So suppose your company is valued at 10 crores, right? If your company is valued at 10 crores, then you can probably have say raise 1 crore at a 10% equity, right? Because 1 crore is 10% of the 10 crores, right? So that's how your valuation will come. If you want to get these documents, you can get it done from our side. We have these facilities for you. You want to make the pitch deck yourself, you go to Startup Lane's website. In the funding section, you will find pitch deck option, right? One menu item is there called pitch deck. So I have myself written that article. It has explained about how to make this pitch deck. And this pitch deck you will be requiring for all investor approach, right? And also do join in. We have exclusive demo days. That means we can take you in front of the investors. Around 60 to 80 investors will be there who will be hearing your pitch and they will be committing. So if you want that to happen, you should come to us and sign up a mandate. Okay. So this facility is available every Saturday and Wednesdays. We do this demo day, and these are exclusive ones. That means if you give a date to you, all the investors will be joining only for you, not for anybody else.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually talking to someone from Startup Lens.
All right. Great. Thank you so much. Any follow-up question you have?
Yes. For example, the investor is investing 1 crore. In the same example, I continue. So we are giving him 10%, right? So out of this 10%, let's say I have been working on this startup for 2 years. I did not, take any money. So since there is a funding, so I want to withdraw some cash. So should it be by sale of shares, or can I take it from funding? How does it happen?
Very good question. So generally, till the IPO, like Zomato is a very perfect example.
Okay.
Till the IPO, startups don't have profits. Okay. In fact, Zomato even don't have profit even after the IPO, right? So how do then founders take money? They take money through the salaries. There is a director salary option. You take that salary and it has to be approved by your board. Right. If your investor is sitting on your board of directors, an investor will also become part of this discussion, right? In case right now, if you are a private limited company, only you and your co-founder, other director would be the part of the board. You have to pass a board resolution for increasing your salary. Obviously, nobody decrease the salary, right? So for increase, if you are not taking the salary, then also you need to pass a board resolution copy, and that's it. It's as simple as that. So you don't have to take profits, because taking profit means you take money out of the company, and one side you are raising money, one side you are taking out capital. Not a good way.
Thank you.
Pleasure. All right. Next question.
Next, we have Ishu Lamba. So please come forward and ask your question. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Ishu. Thank you so much for joining in. Please go ahead.
It's my pleasure, sir. Sir, I was already having a startup into foods and beverages industry since 2017. And we had paid customers of around 2,500, and for 2019-2020, we had a turnover of around 45 lakhs, more than 45 lakhs. So the company was bootstrapped by me, but due to some of my financial mistakes and due to some of the corona pandemic also, we have to close down the operations, and currently I am looking out for investors to start it again. So I was operating from Kolkata, and we were into this business for around 3 years. And what we used to do is we used to provide budget food and budget meals to individuals. With that, we used to provide corporate giftings as well for the corporate companies, and whatever the corporates want for their fulfillment of the order, we used to provide. With that, I was into the event industry for more than 3 years. When I was in my graduation days, I used to do freelance. So I also provided food support to the event management companies as well, for small and big events both. So currently I am looking out for investors because I have an idea. I have proved that already. And I want to start it again, basically. So that's my question. How can
Definitely. See, actually what happens is it's very difficult to raise fund for the idea. I'll tell you why. Because ideas are not uncommon. Ideas are common. Everybody has the same ideas. It is about the execution. So investors want to know how well you have. If you have executed the idea well, then necessarily there is a law of this funding, I'll tell you. And this is a very secret law, but very simple one. 85% of the funds raised from the investors should go for customer acquisition.
Yes.
Right. So if you are doing something, you have to start. That means start with 5-10 customers, and on a asset light model, acquire, get the food manufactured, whatever you are doing. If you're not into processing, if it is a live food, then get it cooked from a restaurant and then start delivering. At least start from somewhere and then come to us with a revenue of minimum 10,000 rupees per month, which is not very much, right? Our standard is only 10,000 rupees per month. You come to us with a product. Product means a technology app or something which will be used, because that is 90% of the startup has one product. That is the app. Uber does not have taxi as their product. Their product is the app. Same goes for, Oyo rooms. They have app as a product. Hotel is not their product. So come to us with a product and a revenue of 10,000 rupees or more. We will give you the date for a demo day and we will get you funded for sure. So initial round, I guess, if you get 25 lakh rupees, you will be able to start in a very good way. And then you can raise 50 lakhs, 1 crore, and you can come back to us. We can give you another demo day a month later. So this process can go on again and again. And the best part of this is we don't charge anything for the demo days. Only a sign up legal fee is there, 1,000 rupees. That's it. That you need to have all three documents that I told in place: pitch deck, valuation, and the financial projection. Any follow-up question?
Yes, sir. I am having the pitch deck with me, but I don't know how to do the valuation and do one more other thing that you told. So, how can I do that? And with that, I am into this processing field basically. From procurement till the delivery of that particular product, I used to do everything, but I don't have any type of specific app or something, means mobile friendly website from where people can order the food, because for me, this tech and this all technology will help me to scale up and disrupt the market, but it's not the main the main feature in which I am dealing currently. So, and I was not having that much amount of funds with me to have a app or website like something that's why I didn't means invested in those things.
See, like I'm telling you, it's very, very difficult to get an investor to start the business, right?
Yes.
Because that is like throwing away money for the investors. And we also never recommend any investor to do that, right? So it's very difficult, but I can make things simpler for you. Go for, there is an app available in the market called Sabzi app.
Okay.
Right? This Sabzi app is used for grocery delivery, could be used for restaurant delivery as well. And there is another clone of Food Panda. Food Panda clone is available in the market. So what you can do is you can customize this, right? You don't have to do this yourself. You have to customize it, get it done, and UI UX should be done. I'll recommend a studio for the UI UX.
Okay.
So that, it's all about UI and UX. Rest everything in the background is working normal. You can utilize this app and the total costing will come around 50,000 to 70,000, right? For this app and UI UX including. So your product will be ready in 75,000 rupees only, which is the minimum, because if you go for a custom app, it will take you 5-6 lakhs, and you can recover this money very easily, because until and unless you have an app, you cannot, investors, especially your customers, also will not take you seriously, because you will become another food delivery person who is a tiffin service, right?
Yes.
Point number 1. Point number 2 is, once you start with this app, tie up with the restaurant. What is your location?
Sir, currently I am doing a survey over Delhi NCR. So currently I am in Gurgaon and one is Bangalore. So in these two locations, with one I will be starting.
Go to, in Bangalore, search the restaurant called Brunchers. Bruncherz.
Okay.
Brunchers, I mentored them 5 years ago. Now they are very successful, right?
Okay.
You can refer my name, and the co-founders of that particular restaurant will be able to support you. You can you can take the material from them, the cooked food, and you can utilize their branding as well. And in case you require any support from our local team in Bangalore, we will be able to support you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
We have communities in Bangalore, so let us know. We will also inform them that you have started a business, and in case you want to order food, try somebody issues.
Thank you.
Right, so that whatever we can do, we will definitely do from our side to support you.
Thank you.
And app is bare minimum thing. In case you are not able to find it, let us know. I will get it done from my team for the same amount. Right?
Okay.
So that you get this app done, up and running.
Okay. Okay.
Right? This is one. Once you start this, have some traction, at least 10,000 rupees of revenue per month, then
Yes.
come to us. I am assuring you, you will get funded.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Sir, one last question. I
Yes.
just want to ask, which is a better location according to you for a startup into this food tech world? Gurgaon, Delhi NCR, or Bangalore? Just means there is no such diameters for something other things. Just Bangalore or Delhi NCR or Gurgaon?
So this is a very good question. In fact, this will help everybody. People might think that getting into less competition is good, but I always recommend go into hyper competition area and start selling for low price or give some more convenience. Right? In your case, give better taste and focus upon better packaging and start selling for low price. Right?
Yes, sir.
This will give you immediate kick. Plus, if you get into very hyper competitive area, people are ready to try something new.
New. Yes, sir.
Right? So that will give you boost from day one. Instead of you trying to create the market, get into find out where the sale is maximum. Right? So if you are in Gurgaon, you go to Cyber City area,
Yes.
right, where the demand is really high.
Yes, sir.
If you are into Bangalore, try finding out areas where the tech parks are there, where the demand is very much high.
Yes.
Okay, and lot of places where the density means people per square kilometer,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Especially all the commercial areas.
Yes,
If the density is high, go for that particular place.
Okay.
Or else, if you want to get into the residential one, go for places like Indrapuram in Ghaziabad, where
Okay.
the density is very, very high, or Greater Noida West, where the density is very high. Basically, the high-rise buildings where
Yes.
your customers are more and your delivery kilometers are less. You
Okay.
can't serve more than 5 kilometers
Yes, sir.
if
Yes,
you
sir.
are doing it yourself, like you
Yes,
said.
sir.
Right?
Yes,
So
sir.
you need to find out hyper density areas which has more people living per square kilometer, so that in 5 kilometers you get maximum demand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? Once you are able to do this pilot, then you can expand everywhere.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Right?
Thank you, sir. Thanks
All
a
the
lot.
best. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Next, we
question.
have
Yeah, this is Anand Agarwal from Packing Raja. So basically, my query is that I started my business in somewhere around 2018 October, and till May 2021, I ran that business in my proprietorship firm. And in June 21, I shifted the whole business into the private limited company of my holding. So will that business, what I did in my proprietorship, will be considered as a part of this business?
Yes, definitely. If you're talking about investors, no, that will be definitely be considered, because they are least concerned about whether you are taking the revenue in the past in the same company or not. They are considered about whether the business is validated through the revenue or not. Right. So in case you have got some revenue in the past, you have got customers in the same customers, it's just basically a conversion, right?
So basically, what we had achieved till date, that in the first year we just ran the business to learn the market, that how it works. Basically, we are into packaging material for e-commerce sellers and D2C brands. So first year we took only to learn the market, understand the market policies and structure. So we just had a business of like 4 to 5 lakhs in a year. Then in next financial year, we had business of more than 20-25 lakhs. In the last financial year, despite being in pandemic situation, we had more than business of 1 crore. And currently we are continuing with our sales with like somewhere around 10 lakhs a month. So
And-
now I'm looking.
And I'm sure you will reach 1 crore a month, because the business itself is very exciting. It is growing because of the pandemic. You have got a lot of boost, and a lot of boost is waiting for you.
Yes,
Still.
exactly. As per the report linker, the estimated market size will be somewhere around 15 lakh crore by 2025.
This is truth. In fact, you are into the right business. I really liked your name, Packing Raja. Very nice
Thank
name.
you.
And in case, so what's your question? And then I want to say something. I'll tell that afterwards.
So basically, my question is that how do I evaluate my company? Because as per the financial modeling that I have created through some vendor, they have provided me 5 years valuation of somewhere around 1700 crore. So I agree that that is too hypothetical. This year Diwali that we will start our portal and we'll be expanding in other cities. Currently, we are only operating in Jaipur, Rajasthan.
Okay. See, let me tell you, we do this valuation, and it will not be, I'm sure, it will not be 1700 crores at all. Your valuation will come near to anywhere between 20 to 30 crores or 40 crores maximum, right?
As per the current.
Right. Let us do it. We charge 25,000 only for this, up to a valuation, of $10 million. And you are, in fact, what I feel from this conversation and your industry, we can get you funded as soon as possible, right? Because you are into the right kind of domain. Don't waste time in thinking about it. Just get these documents, financial projections, valuation, and the pitch deck, right? If you want, we can do it for you and come to the demo day, sign up the mandate. We can get you funded within a month. This is what I feel. Your business domain is actually very good, and it is growing at a very rapid pace. And the best part is, I have not seen any leader coming here as of now. You can become the leader. You can become a unicorn.
Exactly.
Right.
There's
I
no
was researching, and I got one company. This is, I think, few years later. I was researching. I got to know about one company. There was a lady in Shanghai, and she saw that all the boxes which are coming from US are coming empty, and they just pay for the boxes. So she started this business of buying those boxes and again selling those boxes. And within 1 month, she became a millionaire. Just 1 month. Buying empty boxes. This is how huge this packaging business is, right?
Yes, exactly.
Because this is something use and throw. You use it, you tear off the packaging, it's gone.
Exactly. This is use and throw, and this is a actually requirement of each and every business which sells the product, whether it is a small roadside vendor or be it a biggest manufacturer of India. Everyone needs a packaging material.
Very nice, very nice. So I would recommend you to please come to us, raise funds soon and scale up, because if you keep on waiting, somebody else will be listening somewhere and that
Definitely.
guy will scale it
So
up.
basically, the valuation report, the financial modeling which I have is a dynamic. Actually, we generated it for the investment amount of rupees 15 crore. And if we decrease the amount, the valuation and the day-to-day expenses and those monthly
So
expenses.
actually, our valuation is not based upon the revenue, to be very honest. Let me tell you, we do a fair share valuation. It is based upon 26 points. The capabilities of the management, your influence over the sellers, that means your vendors, your influence over the customers, your disruption element, your social media reviews, your management capabilities, educational qualification, industry itself, the growth rate of the industry, then your future profitability, the probability, right? Partnerships, a lot of intellectual property. So there are A to Z 26 points. We don't base the valuation on the basis of the revenue, and we don't believe on DCF. In fact, no investor will believe on DCF method, right? Discounted.
The 1700 valuation what they have provided under the VC form of valuation, not DCF.
There is nothing called VC form of valuation. There are only 9 methods of valuation. 10th I have propounded called fair share. I have to pay, I'm publishing an international paper and I have to publish an international book for that. Then it will become a proper method, accepted method globally, right? So we do fair share method. There are only 9 established methods as of now, right? And I'm sure any of these methods will not give you 1700 crore of valuation.
That I agree with. That's why I said that it's very hypothetical. Acha, I have one more query that in the 26 points you have mentioned the education. How much does it affect?
It affects a lot. I'm not talking about MBA. I'm talking about education or experience related to the trade that you are into, right? Because most of, if you see Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, these were all Mark Zuckerberg, all dropouts, right? So I'm not talking about I'm not talking about MBAs and I'm not talking about graduation. I'm talking about, the education related, even if you are, suppose you are into packaging business. If you are serious about your business, then you will definitely do an online Udemy course for packaging, right? At least something related to your industry. That is important. That shows your mindset, because learning is endless, right? So I have done MBA, I have done law, I have done fashion designing, I have done BCom, lot of things, but still I keep on learning every day, right?
But in my case, I'm non-matriculate.
So what,
That
sir?
doesn't.
This is your quality, no? Dropouts are leading the world.
And what about the past failures? Like in the age of 13, and I have the business experience of more than 25 years. I have been into business since the age of 13. But I have tried multiple business. I succeeded in someone and some failed very badly. My last venture went extreme bad, and it took all my money earned in last 25 years. So now again I started from scratch in
So that's good.
2018.
Failure is the first step of success, because now you have already failed. You have got the experience. You are not starting from zero, right? You are starting from an experience. Failure is always good. If you have failed, you are the right candidate, right? Somebody who has never failed will definitely fail. This is for sure. This is law of nature, which I have seen, right? Failure is imminent. If you are experimenting, you have to fail.
And what is the
Right.
impact of team in case of funding?
Very much, very much. If you don't have the right kind of team, or if you don't have the team, solo founder, then obviously that weakens your chances of success, to be honest, right? So uh,
Okay.
for an organization, humans are the most precious assets. If you don't have a team, then get and make a team. Go ahead, make a team. Without the team, your chances of success, you can't scale up. Individuals can't scale up, right? No matter what you do.
So, what do you consider as a team? A founder or a employee, or a better, like kind of that?
Anybody who's working for the organization is a team. Does not
So
matter
if we
founder
so
or
if we if we hire someone to build our marketplace, that will be
right?
considered as a team. That
Definitely.
will be okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And thank you so
Thank you.
much. Do join the next week also. And
Sure.
please sign up for the demo day. You apply online, somebody will call you. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
We have Mr. Shakti Uni. So please come forward and ask your question. Thank you so much.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, Shakti. Good afternoon.
Okay, hi. I'm based out of Dubai. My company name is TurbosoftTechnology.com. We're based out here, um, um, shifting our transition from a service industry to a product company. I've been in this region for 20 odd years. And the past 3 years, what we have developed is B2B solution accelerators, which is specifically targeting distribution industries and in the sectors of logistics, basically helping them the digitalization journey in a much more practical way. Starting from B2B inventory apps, digital delivery, merchandising, these kind of solutions, which is predominantly a manual paperwork effort right now. I'm not sure how the market is going. But my question is related to the expansion part of it. Like, yes, we have ready products. We have a big team as well. When I say team, it is based out of Dubai as well as India, Kerala, as such. So the question is basically when you want to expand to different market, as the aspiration goes, we want to make these product lines available globally as a B2B solution accelerator, which is a common problem. And the sector is basically FMCG, CPG, which is a main thing right now. Even in pandemic, this is the vertical which actually succeeded as well. Going with a VC, yes, that's an option always to expand. But my lookout is for partners who can take up of a region, because since I'm here in UAE for like almost 20 odd years, the market dynamics has changed everywhere, right? So, what do you feel like as an experience, whether you can employ people in each country or each vertical, or you identify partners where you can geographically have some kind of franchising model and say that promote your brand and solutions and be a part of the organization? What approach is better according to you?
For hiring employees, you need to go for a third party, because if you directly hire, You need to have all the compliances, which is a very tedious job. So there are companies like Globalization Partners who help you, who have their own registrations as a company in different locations, different countries, but they are very expensive, to be honest, right? So they will charge almost 50% of the salary that you pay to your employees. So if you are paying $1,000, they will charge $500 over and above. That is a very high cost, right? Other option is either you go about having partnerships with existing people, existing organization, and keep the employees in their organization and pay their salaries, pay them, and then they will pay the salaries. They will bill you as a consultant, right? So your franchisee salary you pay if you want to have employees, right? And have some profit sharing. So this model will become the better model, because generally what happens is, I have experienced this myself. Franchisees are not very much excited about your business, right? So initially for few days they might put in very much efforts and expertise, but later on they lose out on their interest, right? And they continue what they were doing. So I'll tell you what I have experienced, and I may be wrong or right, but what I have experienced is generally people who don't want to do something of their own, they want to join as a franchisee, and mostly they are not motivated. Most of the time, they are not. They are the people who just want to depend upon an organization for the success. So either you make a model which is a franchisee-owned, company-operated model, then it can become very successful because they will be acting like an investor only, right? But if you depend upon them for some activities, I have not seen too much coming from such kind of model. So you need to design the model.
Correct. So Shishir, here the point is, I understand nobody will do sales for you. That concept is clear for me. The point here is to expand and scale, because right now, based out of Middle East and Africa, with the network and the pandemic still been there, but what we have been able to generate like $150,000 of business and a AMC model, which is kind of more perpetual to AMC model of B2B. 20% of the AMC. So that's a recurring model, and the product line is basically not from scratch. So these products are ready with us, and the idea is to scale it up to different marketplaces. It could be Far East, or it could be India, Pan India across, or it could be US, Canada, depending upon how the network of people is. So yes, that strategy is always there, where we can identify ERP vendors or WMS vendors in those regions. But as you correctly mentioned, their interest is basically as a second priority for our solutions, unless we reach certain level of success in the product line. But if I go on a route of employing people, is that helping? And say that, okay, you be a part of Singapore market, for example, and say I'll employ one guy which is remotely. We are not established there as a company yet. But is that approach helpful, where it is a dedicated sales guy just selling based on the operations what we have in India as well as Dubai?
Right, but that's what I was telling you. You need a local partner who would be paying the salary, who would become the employer of your staff. If you become the employer directly, you will get into a lot of compliances, lot of legal challenges are there, many. Like minimum pay is a challenge. Then a lot of compliance work in terms of the gratuity, annuity, lot of things are there. So better to go with a local partner who act like your partner, not a franchisee. Utilize their office, pay them some amount, and treat it like your remote office, and give them some cut in the sales. So that would become a good model, but you have to operate yourself through your employees.
Right. And B2B generally, in your perspective, like I could see a lot of B2C ventures which are coming out, but B2B as a robust model with a product line what we have in FMCG, do you see like raising capital for different markets would be a good idea?
Raising capital for the company would be a good idea. I will not comment on the different market, but yes, raising capital for the company obviously is always a good idea. That is how every company in this world which is big has scaled up, right? Nobody has become big by skipping this. So necessarily, everybody should raise funds, scale up, and try to become big. That's the only way. And it is a step-by-step method. First, you go over angel round, then you go for VC round, then you go for P. and then you go for IPO.
But I think we have passed that initial stages, seed funding and all that. Because that is an operational company with revenues generated and AMC generated, and with a team and a co-founder all in place. The point is where we are looking at expanding it to different markets. So either we go as Turbosoft, or we have to identify partners, or we raise funds so that we can be established in each country where we want to operate. So that are the multiple options. So that in that angle, do you see a point where we can start up on that process of raising, because we haven't raised, it's still a boot funded company?
That's right. So necessarily you should raise from angel investors in the first round, even if the amount is low. That's okay. But this is the process you should not skip, because if you go by the step-by-step process, your chances of growth and attraction from the VCs will be higher. Right? And because angel investors have their relationship with the VCs, as well as this method of success is an established way. If you directly go for PE VC, then you have to wait for long time, and you might get wasting time. Better to go by raise some funds, say INR 1 crore you raise from angel investors, then you raise a $1 million amount from VCs, then you raise 5 million or 10 million, and then you raise more money from PEs. So that's the right way, and then you should think about IPO in next 5 years.
Okay. And in the VC arena, like, does B2B has a space? Because I could see out of 100, maybe 98 of them are all B2C segment, and
that's right.
There is a B2B, there is a marketplace concept, which we are not yet.
You are absolutely correct. That is why there is a new model created called B2B2C. All the companies that has raised funds like Amazon, they have become B2B2C.
Correct.
So B2B.
So according to you, what you're saying is we should look at options to raise funds, so that as for a company, so that we can scale up on a better way.
Right. See, it's very, very difficult to utilize the investor's money for acquiring consumer when you are into a pure B2B model. Right? I hope you agree on that. If you are getting business from companies like Microsoft, Google, maybe you are getting today, but you can't acquire Amazon by spending money. They are big time customers. You can't acquire them by spending money. If you are into a consumer segment, you can do digital marketing and acquire n number of customers. Right? But acquiring a big ticket to be business is very, very difficult. And that is why investors are not bullish on that, because they understand that their money utilization will not do the consumer position. And that's why you must have noticed that most of the funding that has happened, that is for digital marketing actually. When you spend money and acquire customers to your product, and that is into a B2C model or B2B2C model.
Got it. So as such, with this particular approach, maybe the funding would be limited, but that's what you're...
PEs are there. They don't care about... There are certain funds. There are certain debt funds also. In case you raise VC funding from on equity basis from any of the VCs, debt funds will back you. Similarly, PEs are there. Their ticket size is a little bigger, but they don't care about your business model and all. They care about the revenues only. So if you are into good revenue stage, that time you can directly approach them.
All right. Thanks, Shishir. Thank you for that.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. Okay. So who's next?
Next we have Mr. Manish Kumar. Sir, please come forward and ask your question. Thank you so much.
I'm Manish, and along with me is Pranay.
Hi, Pranay. Thank you so much. Yeah,
so we basically are co-founders of Test Prep Car since 2014 January. Before that, I was working in e-learning, and Pranay was also working. So we left that and we started that in year 2014. And since 2015, we are full time to this. We left our jobs and everything. So that is it. Having done Test Prep Cart, now basically we have created an app, right? And that app is known as SATLS, SATLS. You can say it's Atlas of SAT. In that, we have tried to build up the biggest repository of question answer with an integrated approach of right from knowing your strength and weakness, then to practice the test, then to raise your score for the top universities in more than 3,000 universities in US. Right, a lot of students are from India, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and US. Right, that is it. So now we have invested an amount into that. We have created the app. A lot of things are in place. We are in a ready so that we can pitch this to the investors. Now we are facing a dilemma, right? Because we are self-funded company, and so far since last 6 years, we haven't looked here and there a lot because we were completely engrossed into our work, right? So we started test prep cards with the revenue of 5,000 rupees per month, right? But this definitely satisfies whatever we have generated into that. Right. So we are facing a dilemma. We have no idea that this. The product is ready, but how to think about the valuation. What is the matrix which is involved in this? What things are involved in this, so that we can say that this is the valuation of this company in terms of money.
Shishir, there's a added question here, just to build upon what Manish just said. We are from Test Prep Card. This has been running from the last 5 years, and this is going pretty fine. So we are satisfied with it, and it's growing at its own pace. We are good with that. But along with that, because it's a traditional online coaching model, which is going fine along with the NRIs worldwide, we are doing pretty good. Along with that, we came across the concept of developing an application called SATLess. SATLess will deal with the SAT entrance examination, which is conducted by College Board US for the admission into US colleges and other universities. This is being written by approximately 2.2 million students worldwide every year, 4 times a year. Now, the thing is, this SATLess concept is basically fairly new. Okay, the application is fairly new and not related to our business. Now we are confused that in order to push this business, how should we proceed further? And in this business, we did not do anything yet. So we have the application ready, we have the concept ready, we have everything in place, but we do not know anything about the valuation for this particular SATLess application, for which we are planning to seek investment. So your views on that?
Valuation will be of the company, not of the product. So sometimes if this is a myth, for some people think that product could be valued, and because you won't be hiving of the product, right? So this entire product is the property of your company, and your company will be valued. And like I told you, there are 26 points in my proprietary method called fair share method of valuation. And you value a startup not only on the basis of the revenue or the time that has been, you have spent as an entrepreneur, but there are more points like what is your influence over your customers, how much customers, obviously revenue is one part of it, then your profitability expectations, innovation element, disruption, a lot of things are there. So as far as valuation is concerned, this is a very complex and complicated thing which a finance team, financial analyst does. So let our team do it. We will give you the valuation from our side. If in case you want to just have an idea about what should be your valuation, then you need to identify all these points, which are important, the industry growth rate, everything. And then you can have a gist of maybe a basic idea of what you are doing, right? And there is a myth in the industry. People think, that for non-tech, you multiply this for your revenue with 7, and for tech, you multiply your revenue with 10. So this is a completely myth. Somebody was asking me yesterday, and he was very confident. And he said, it's also an edtech. We are raising fund for an edtech. 1.7 crore has been done. 2 crores total raise is under process. So 30 lakh more is required. So that guy was asking me, he's saying, Shishir, this is the formula, 10 times and 7 times. No, this is not the formula. If you talk about, if you go back in the history and if you see startups like Quora, WhatsApp, when they raised funds, they had nothing revenue in terms of revenue, 0 revenue. Still they were valued very, very high because it's not about the revenue at all. Revenue is one portion of it. A lot of things are important, your skill set, your experience, the entire team, everything is important. Like we always say for investors, don't put your money on the horse, put your money on the jockey, right? Because they drive, right? So that is how entrepreneurs are the main component for a particular valuation. If somebody, a DRDO scientist doing something in related to science, the same technology, will get more valuation in comparison to a fresh college graduate, or maybe a BCom guy or BA guy coming out and doing some invention. Right? So automatically this valuation is a multiplier. It's like a box, right? If you put in gold into it, it will get the value of the gold. But if you put in a fixed deposit, it will get the value, current value, as well as it will get the interest rate which gets accumulated, right? So that is how we calculate the future prospects, right? It's not just the current prospect. You might not have revenue, you might not have any paying customer, but what is there in store for you in the coming future, that's important.
No, fine. Thank you. We have got some idea. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and please do approach our team in case you are looking to raise fund. We are raising for a couple of edtech startup now.
How to approach your company?
Yeah, there is an application form, very simple one. Startup Lanes website, you go in the funding, you'll find a funding tab. In that, you will find the funding menu. Click on that page, everything is written, right? And there will be a very simple form to fill. Your lead goes into our system and our team will call you.
Thanks, will come back to you.
Sure, we'll do that, Shishir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, I can take, I think, one more question. Time is already about to be up.
So, sir, next we have Mr. Divyanshu Verma. So, please come forward and ask your question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hi Divyanshu.
Yeah. Hi, sir. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Question, please.
So, sir, actually, we are running a company with the name of eWorkspace. Okay. So we basically provide a virtual office platform. Okay, to like take care of your remote environment employee. Okay, because in this Corona situation, most of the company they're working from home. Okay. So we build this solution in such a way that it replicates the office environment. So whatever the activity we used to perform while going to the office, the same can be performed by using our platform. Like the attendance mark is there, and like you can chat with your employees, with your colleague, and like going to a conference room. So these all features are there. Okay. So now like we are looking to raise some investment for this platform. Okay. And frankly speaking about the current status, we are in pre-revenue stage because we are offering this solution on a free trial basis kind of thing for 1 month, 2 months to the company, just to build, like just to get a chance to penetrate into the companies, because it's a complete B2B solution. So right now we are like, I need your suggestion, I need your assistance at how we can raise the fund for this particular product.
See, like I told you, we need a minimum revenue of 10,000 rupees a month. Yeah. This is our standard for the Angel network, right? But what we can do to help you is you can associate with us and we can promote you on our platform, right? We have a partnership model as well. Like recently we did with Make My Trip, right? So we are tied up exclusively. Make My Trip has created a special page for us under the promotions, exclusively for Startup Lanes. Anybody who signs up to Make My Trip gets 1,000 rupees extra, through Startup Lanes. So similarly, we can run a promotion for you. Anybody who signs up should get something, benefit, some kind of extra and all. And then we can promote this in the 15 countries, or let's say in India first. Right? And we will develop a model and this will give you some revenue. So first you get revenue. Startup Lanes is into 3 things, basically 3, which is the most important required: funding, branding, and sales. So because you can't just have funding alone. You need branding as well. You need sales every day.
Yeah.
Then we will help you in branding as well. We will take you to our YouTube channel, to our social media, so that people get to know about it. So this is a partnership model. Definitely what we can do is you connect with our team. There are phone numbers given at our Startup Lanes website. Connect with somebody as per your location and ask them to connect with me, right? So this is a recorded session. So this recording is already there. Then we will discuss this offline, one-on-one. And I will tell you what model we can create for you, and we can support you in that, right? And then you can come for the funding. Your business is pretty fundable, need of the hour, and we can get this funded within 1 month.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Very good business line.
Thank you.
Pleasure. I think we have time. We can take one more question.
Then we can take question of Ms. Chaitali Basu. Ma'am, please come up and ask your question.
Hello.
Yeah, hi Chaitali.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. Actually, my company just started the last year. We already making an app about e-commerce site. In that particular site, we will be providing raw fish and meat along with some marinated product to our consumer, and in our app and website and web app will be also provided the everything. from the procurement to the delivery to the consumers, everything will be from my company's end. And for this particular work, we started the research due to the pandemic. Myself and my partner, we was in the tourism industry, so we needed to be shifted on some other work. So we made the research about what kind of a work we needed to be done, what kind of a consumer will be taking our product, and what will be the consumer's need. Because if we providing them the hygienically with a good fresh product to them, so I think they will be approved by us. So I was looking the basics thing, the research work, the basic setups, and the app is almost completed. Just a few glitches has been coming up on our backend. That work is going on right now, but my app already in the Play Store right now. So I was looking for a funding, and I wanted to want your input. How I can able to grow my business. Right now, my place of business in Kolkata. We made the research. Where is the places? Basically, in the South Calcutta, like Salt Lake, Rajarhat. These are the particular segment where is the market is high for the consumers who are purchasing through the online. After that, when we making the success in Kolkata, we wanted to expand in other cities. So I just wanted your guideline. How can I able to get the finance, and how can I able to expand my business?
Right. So, like you said, you are making this app. Your business will expand directly when the app downloads happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There are certain companies like F5 Mobi, Webladu, lot of companies are there. They have options of getting your app downloaded, and there are two options for getting the app downloaded. One is called preload, which is very highly expensive. Preload means you tie up with companies like MI. They will send the mobile phone, they will sell the phone along with the app, right? But that's very expensive. That's like, they charge 3 crores, 4 crore as a deposit, security deposit, even before they start, right? Because they manufacture phones in bulk. Another option is getting the downloads through company like F5 or Webladu. So what they do is they will charge you 20 rupees, 25 rupees, or maybe for some cases 30 rupees for your downloads. Right, per download they will charge, but this will become your customer acquisition cost, because somebody who's downloading this app will definitely order food. Right?
Yeah.
So either you get this model, or you do digital marketing for downloads. You start Facebook campaign or some kind of digital marketing campaigns on Google. You have to do marketing. Start Facebook campaign or some kind of digital marketing campaigns on Google. You have to do marketing. Another option is you tie up with Startup Lanes in a partnership model. We have 50 lakh subscribers who are MSMEs, small companies, but they all eat food, right? So they can become your customers, and we can give you a very quick push at a very low price. That we need to discuss one-on-one later on. But yes, there is an option. Now, as far as your funding is concerned, like I told earlier, we need minimum 10,000 rupees per month revenue to get on our platform. So as soon as this comes up, do join us. We will arrange a demo day for you. You will be able to pitch to the investors.
Okay. So about the marketing part, we already have the planning for the social media marketing through the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever system. My social marketing team has been looking forward for that particular person. And if you, I can able to have your input. Which are the others options you have been giving us for the downloading the site? That will be the helpful.
Like I told you, we have 50 lakhs, 5 million subscriber base. We can push it on the email, right? Okay. So this is the fastest solution, and we can tie up, and the cost will be around between 10 paisa to 15 paisa per email, which is the bare minimum cost. This is the cost we pay for the servers, right? But this is because we want to support the entrepreneurs. We are opening up this for that. We have never done this in the past. We have recently decided to open up this for the entrepreneurs so that they can benefit from the subscriber base that we have, right? So this we need to discuss one-on-one in case you are willing to do this, but minimum size of a send will be 10 lakh emails. We cannot do below that.
Yeah, okay, fine. For that purpose, how can I able to get contact you?
Yeah, so you can connect with our team. The phone numbers are there at Startup Lane's website. Also, I'm available every Tuesday, so same session you can join the next one. And Sanjana is here. You can probably mail her. She has left her email ID in the chat, so she will be able to connect you with the team.
Okay. Thank you so much for your input.
Pleasure. And I think this is the time. So it's 2 o'clock. I have to hop into another call, but it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining. Namaskar and see you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shashi. Thank you very much.
Pleasure is mine.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shashi sir.
Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining
Jai
this
Bharat,
session.
Jai Bharat. Thank you.
We apologize those who didn't get chance to ask questions. You can join us in next Ask Me Anything session, and I have sent my email ID in the chat box. You can note it down, and you can mail me for further sessions. And you can send me your queries, which will forward it to sir. I have also sent the website link from where you can book a call with sir, and also do visit our YouTube channel for other startup related stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.